Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, when does one finally draw the line? Got an email here from a viewer. And he says, hey Coach, he says, I've been seeing this girl who's 52 years old for about 6 months, and man, I've screwed up. But because of your site, I've survived myself. I'm trying to be the 3% man and hope this gal I have used the best strategy to get an ex-lover back on will meet some douchebag that will clinch my spot. She has been maintaining that she hasn't had the feelings for me like her last boyfriend, so I've used this strategy and it works. Lately, she's been contacting me as I will not chase to the point where I need to make the token call to keep her happy. What I teach is that a woman should be doing, if you're doing everything right when you're going out on dates with women, obviously you're doing a lot of fucking up and doing things that are making you look weak and needy, but as long as you're doing everything right with a woman, she should be reaching out to you 70 to 80% of the time. And when she does reach out, you just simply arrange the next date to get together with her. Now, if a week goes by and you haven't heard from her, then you don't call her and ask her out more than once a week at that point. And you go out with her once a week, and then you wait to call her the following week. And what happens as her interest goes up, as her level of attraction goes up, and the sexual anticipation goes up, what happens is she's going to start calling you and texting you, reaching out to you. Just simple things like, hey, I just want to let you know I had a really great time the other night. And you should assume that the reason that she's doing that is because she's really saying, hey, I had a really great time the other night. Hopefully, you'll take the hint that I want to go out with you again soon and make a date. Create a fun-filled romantic opportunity for sex to happen. That's what they really want. You should assume that the reason they're contacting you is because they're trying to make it easy for you to see them again and go out with them again. And so think about this, when she's calling you and she's reaching out to you, she's going to be a little unsure of yourself, because what if she gets your voicemail? What if you don't call her back right away? What if you've decided you're not really that interested in her, and that's why you haven't gotten in touch with her sooner, like most guys do that she goes out with? All of those little things play into causing her to feel unsure of where she stands with you. And it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. It's not that you're playing games or anything. You're just being busy with your life, and you're only going to call her and reach out to her once a week. And when she sees you once a week, and then she wants to see you in between those times, she's going to reach out to you and call you in hopes that you'll take the hint and use it as an opportunity to create the next date. But if you're doing things wrong, obviously you're going to call her once a week, and she's never going to reach out to you because you're doing so many things to turn her off. As a matter of fact, if, say, you go out with a girl for 2 months and you call her and you take her out only once a week, but yet she never calls you and she never pursues you, she never initiates anything, then that tells me either A, you got a structured girl, or B, you're dating a girl and you're really making colossal blunders when you're going out with her because her interest isn't going up. Or either C, the third option is that you're going out with a girl who's really not interested in you at all. She's just going out because it's better than staying at home looking at the four walls. He says she has the worst esteem level, but I like her. It's like, well, you can't fix a shitty, bad self-esteem. The girl either is what you want when you meet her, or she's not. And for you to go just look at something like that, oh, well, I'm going to ignore the unhealthy self-esteem. Like, here's the deal. After you're with somebody like that for a period of time, eventually you're going to get tired of always having to build up their self-esteem, because their desire to hear that you love them is not because they really want to hear that you love them. It's they need to hear that you love them. And so no matter how much you express it, it's never enough, because what is going on is they got a deep-seated belief that says, I'm a steaming pile of dog dung, and there's no way that you could never love me, and it's just a matter of time before you fall out of love with me. And so it's like they're always coming from a place that it's going to end. You're going to fall out of love, and you're not going to want them anymore. And so they're asking for it or complaining that you never showed enough is really them basically communicating, hey, I know it's just a matter of time before you get tired of me and kick me to the curb, so I'm trying to figure out if that time is here yet or not. And eventually you get tired of trying to always build up their self-esteem, and you eventually do kick her to the curb, which is exactly what they fear happening the most. He says, I read this quote from Bob Marley. If she's amazing, she won't be easy. If she's easy, she won't be amazing. If she's worth it, you won't give up. If you give up, you're not worthy. Truth is, everyone is going to hurt. You just got to find the ones who are worth suffering for. Well, fuck that. I've learned that relationships can be totally effortless once you get to the place where you get this stuff and you've practiced it enough to where you really don't have to think about it anymore. And when you meet a girl and you have a great connection and great chemistry, it's totally natural for the two of you to spend like the next 3 days together, the next 4 days together, and not get tired of each other and not get sick of one another. But guys that don't know what they're doing, they go and spend 3 days together. Like one of the other videos I'm going to be doing from a guy is he's in that exact situation. He spent 3 days with 3 or 4 days with a girl, and she got tired of him because he was doing too many needy, insecure things when he was with her. And so instead of the bond being stronger after 3 or 4 days hanging out together constantly, she wanted nothing to do with him after 3 or 4 days, and that's basically what it took for him to turn a girl off who had 80% interest level to the point where it was below 50 and she didn't want anything to do with him. So it's a night and day difference. You can show up and act the way you need to act to create attraction, or you can show up and be a fucking train wreck like that particular guy I had mentioned had done, and then the girl's going to kick you to the curb after 3 days. So whereas one guy who gets it, a guy like myself, after 3 or 4 days, it's like love at first sight's happening, this magical thing's happening, and you're telling your friends about it, and everybody that's around the two of you can see the attraction, the chemistry is only growing. Whereas another guy who doesn't get it, meets a girl, has that same chemistry from the get-go, but he totally fumbles the football and fucks it up. So at the end of 4 or 5 days, the girl I'm with is crazy about me, and at the end of the 4 or 5 days, this other particular guy who basically started the same place that I did, he's totally fucked it up to the point where the girl doesn't want to see him anymore. It's all about being prepared. And you don't get what you deserve in life, you only get what you negotiate. And obviously you found your way to my site because, not because things are going great in your life, because things are fucked up and you're trying to fix it. And the good news is 97% of the guys out there, your competition so to speak, they're too fucking weak to read a book like mine. They're too weak to look internally and recognize that what they're doing in their life is not working and they need to make a change. But unfortunately, most people never do. And the good news for you is that by applying these things and doing the work on yourself, you can become the 3% of the guys that get it and pretty much get all the really great women and have the great relationships that everybody else envies. So he says, when does one draw the line? He says, I question myself about the test that she puts me through because of low self-worth. I like her enough to walk away so she can come back. But he says, I've been on a couple failed dates and I want to keep active, but I really like this guy. Well, first off, for what she shared with me, there's nothing in here that tells me that I should be excited about this particular girl that you're going out with, because you said she's got a low self-esteem. You can't fix that. And I know, it's like, I know from like my dad, because he's older, it's like he gets in this dad, he's like, well, you got to understand, the women that are my age, it's like they're all fucked up in some way. It's like, yeah, Dad, it's like, doesn't mean you got to fucking solve all their problems and pay all their bills and buy them a place to live and all that stuff. It's like, I mean, come on, man. It's like, be patient and find yourself a good quality woman. A lot of guys give up. It's like they try to make something out of nothing. And if you've got a bad candidate, it's like, no matter how much you drink a crappy champagne, it's still a crappy champagne. At the end of the day, no matter how much you polish a turd, it's still a fucking turd. It is what it is. And when you stay with somebody who's not what you want, you're settling. And if you settle, you're going to make yourself miserable. You can't have a spectacular relationship when you're dating somebody who you perceive as being mediocre. And the big reason why guys like you stay in these kind of relationships, and they stay in them a lot longer than they should, is because you think, oh, what if I don't find anybody better? What if the next girl that comes along is worse? And that's just a bunch of limiting beliefs and a bunch of nonsense running around in your mind. And so at the end of the day, this girl is continually dumping you. And so it's not all on her and her self-esteem issues. A big part of that is you're obviously constantly fucking up when you're going out on dates with this girl. And so that tells me you probably haven't read my book yet. And so there's a lot of things that you're doing that you don't even know you're doing wrong that's causing this girl to constantly dump you and put you in friend zone, where you got to constantly walk away and say, hey, give me a call if you change your mind. I'm not interested in being friends. So if I were you, I would highly encourage you to go to my website right now, and there would be a tool, and I want you to download my ebook. Underneath the email sign-up box, there is a box that has a link that'll take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. And once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read it on. If you have a question that you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max. And just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session, and you can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that'll take you right there. So if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation right now by going to my website, and there will be a toolbar at the bottom of your screen. Click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.